official. They were sworn in on the Kenyan Constitution to huge cheers from the audience at Kasarani Stadium. Meanwhile, across town, supporters of opposition leader Raila Odinga, who has called today's events a coronation, not an inauguration of a president, his supporters are clashing with police in outside of the grounds where Odinga was set to hold a dueling ceremony today. The ceremony was to mourn, he says, the victims of police brutality, his own supporters who have been killed in clashes with police over the last few months since the August 8th election, and since he has repeatedly called for protests in order to push for further electoral reform. So very divided pictures at these different events, a very jubilant crowd supporting President Kenyatta now that he has been officially sworn in. Odinga tells us, his team has told me, that he is still expecting to try and show up to this ceremony today. He's a few hours delayed, but they are insistent that they will try and hold this morning ceremony sometime this afternoon.
So, Julia, what's the way forward now to try and bring some unity back to Kenya? Did President Kenyatta say anything about this in his remarks today at the inauguration?
Well, so far he hasn't touched on it, but we expect to hear from him at greater length perhaps later today as the festivities continue. But indeed, Kenyans on both sides of the political divide are extremely weary of the political crisis of the last several months. They've been particularly hard hit economically and are eager to move past it. Diplomats here are really trying to get both of these leaders, Kenyatta and Odinga, to the table. Kenyatta has sort of hinted that he would be open to this. Odinga, on the other hand, has said he has no reason to talk to President Kenyatta, that he will not accept a position in the government, that he would not participate in some sort of national dialogue that's been pushed for by diplomats, that really his only interest in sitting down with Kenyatta is to push for yet another round of elections. So he is continuing to stick to that line of his. He says he will continue to push his supporters to participate in civil resistance in the months to come until justice has been done. And justice, in his view, is a new round of elections that he deems to be credible. So, of course, his continuing this fight does have some people worried that it could continue some of the turmoil that Kenya has seen over the last few months.